Go around and hassle. Go around. Hi. Potsy.
Mandy, nice to meet you, Potsy.
Nice to meet you. The mic, you need to wait till the mic's with you.
Oh, okay.
Before you can talk. And welcome everyone to the girls' final. We just delayed the start a little bit to make sure the stream was up, but so they're busy trying to warm up and just keep their heads in while we sort out the technical stuff. But we're live to go now. So it's Jonathan Potts here, President of AFDA. I'm your go-to commentator for this event, but inviting some guest commentators or colour commentary. So I've got Mandy Fung here. And Mandy, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi everybody out there. So my name's Mandy. I've been playing for the last 8 or 9 years or so. It's been great to come out and look at Youth Ultimate. It's almost a full circle. I think my first competition was at AYUC back in 2007.
Well, let's we'll just call it live commentary. We'll hear more from Mandy soon. So it's the Carpenter twins dominating things to start with against the Zone from New South Wales, and the Zone's gotten the block. So New South Wales picks it up just inside the attacking half.
We've got Holly with the disc, looking for a jump. Got a bit of a power handling set here. Going long. D again from WA.
I think that was Zia Palmer. We'll get the team list in a sec. So it's been picked up by Raya Carpenter, and she's just out of reach for her receiver.
Yeah, we're expecting a good matchup today. These two teams have definitely been the ones dominating throughout this tournament, winning quite easily against most of the other states. But I think it'll be a really good matchup to see for the great competition today. Got WA jamming New South Wales down the sideline. We've got a great swing out to the middle. Another swing out to the middle. Both of these teams have shown great game awareness throughout the whole tournament this weekend. Right on the end zone line again, and we have a first score from New South Wales.
Good flow from New South Wales there, and the goal was caught there by an incredibly tall girl called Tegan Holmes, and she demanded the disc. She ran through the end zone, demanded the disc. That's always good to see from a receiver when they have the confidence to know that the way the goal's going to get scored is by throwing it to me. So, that what do we see in that first point, Mandy? I think WA just didn't really quite get a chance to get flow happening. New South Wales came out with their zone. That's going to be a bit of the story from the New South Wales side of things. They've used their zone all this tournament. Have you had a chance to watch them much so far?
No chance to watch them other than our Victorian game against them. But they're quite effective team, very game aware, incredibly well skilled on an individual level, to a level I haven't seen before, I guess, at this age group.
So the coach, both these teams have former Australian players as coach. Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, not current and former Australian players as coaches. So Simon Wood for New South Wales and Anna Haynes for Western Australia. And having played with Simon and against Simon for many years, he loves his zone. He loves a big dominating mark, and he loves to just work the disc up the field. So. But he's not scared to punt it and play position. So New South Wales got ready to pull. WA just talking a little bit before they signal their readiness, and now they're ready.
Yeah. So Christy with the pull, she was born in Egypt and is has migrated here from India and has been playing I guess since high school in India, and so has brought over her skills and. Has clearly led the team in terms of her disc skills and handling. So now they're running down. Interesting. So WA have been usually playing a side stack, a little bit messy to start off with. Has come off this time. Side stack and ISO has been the favoured player of WA this whole tournament, but perhaps not as effective against an equally matched team. So horizontal, that's very interesting. So I think this is perhaps maybe the only team I've seen play horizontal aside from New South Wales throughout this whole tournament. Most other states have been sticking to the good old vertical stack.
I can say Mandy as well. Look, I will just call this bit here. So New South Wales is moving the disc against their zone. WA brought out this zone in the semi-final, and it was super effective. And so we'll see how New South Wales deals with it. They have broken over the top, broken out a bit. WA is now contained them again, so New South Wales needs to get the disc moving.
Alrighty. We've got Christie again with the disc. Going for the long shot. Almost an epic grab, but against two other players. Didn't quite come off.
WA gets the disc. Maybe a little bit of a tweak of an ankle there from Raya Carpenter, but she looks alright. And she's put it up straight away. Height mismatch, but misread and then cleaned up by the defender coming behind, who is Christy Gribman. Again, all over the place. And she's getting it back. Seems like she's a pretty key handler for New South Wales.
Oh, definitely. She definitely has one of the more developed disc skills out of all the New South Wales girls. All of her years of experience playing in competition. Now we've got WA. WA picking up the disc again in a vertical, horizontal stack. They're jammed up on the sideline. New South Wales have got a bit of a zone going, or a poach in the lane at least. Swing again. Let's see if they can break through. They've got a couple players out deep on the wings. They probably need to stretch a little bit further to drag the New South Wales players out there. Create some space in the middle of the field. We've got some great popping and handling movements, but how far is that going to get them up the field? Nice dumping and swinging. Let's see, spacing. Yes, they're near the end zone now. Their wings are right deep in the end zone, leaving some space for the handlers to move across the field. We've got a pop through. Hopefully they can capitalise on this going through, but no, there's no second flow, so now they're back to handling, dumping and swinging. Let's see if they can replicate that again and get another pop through. We've got a number 19 on WA. Nikki is doing well in that popping zone, but again, a forced turnover. I think end zone eyes occurred again.
So New South Wales has it on their line. Overthrown. This is a massive opportunity for WA right now. And taken by Sage Lovell. Got that wrong in the last game. Sage Lovell, number 18. So Mandy, we watched WA in the semi-final. It was quite an interesting game, actually. ACT came out and, roughly speaking, dominated the first 2 points. And WA really struggled. And I think you mentioned WA running the side stack, those first 2 points, and they really couldn't get their offense flowing. They couldn't get a nice clean cut out into the strong side of the field. And it feels like they kind of ditched it and evolved it. And in the end, the offense pretty much became the Carpenter sisters, supported by Zia to an extent as well, getting the disc and pushing it into the end zone. And it was very pretty ultimate to watch, and some impressive skills on show. So I think we can expect to see, certainly in terms of like offensive penetration, Raya Carpenter, Shannon Carpenter and Zia Palmer, when they get the disc in the attacking half, they're going to look to the end zone.
Oh, definitely, and that kind of flexibility. If for people who haven't watched youth ultimate much before, the amount of progress and evolution of the teams as well as individual players over a mere weekend tournament is fantastic. You know, the team comes together, the structure's a lot more solid. You have girls, hucking long, taking great grabs, things that they didn't do, 48 hours before stepping onto the field. For a lot of them, it's the first time they've played against other players other than their own teams. And then it's incredible from WA side to go from perhaps maybe practicing a side stack the entire tournament to evolving into a horizontal stack, and making that work is great flexibility. So New South Wales, we've got Holly. Holly's on the under-20 Southern Terror team, working it up, handling. I think she's quite a versatile player. Coming back when Christie isn't back. There's a fantastic grab from number 7. WA put on their zone again just to stop the New South Wales flow. Otherwise, they've got some quite tall players.
Yeah, you have to say that WA are the underdogs in this game, but they're well capable of taking control. And they do so right now through a big block from Jamie Castleton. And New South Wales wasn't really progressing the disc, and they decided to put it up. So now it's not quite sure. Oh, so it's Shannon Carpenter with the disc in the corner. She gets it to Zia, and Zia she looks for a couple of seconds deep. Now Shannon puts it, just a medium-sized flick. Shannon has a very nice flick, and she penetrates again with that to like absolute striking distance of the end zone. Just need to get it into the handle. It must be standing on the end zone line now. Shannon Carpenter looking for something, and it's caught. There you go. Unexpected start to this game.
Very unexpected start. I think WA have risen to the challenge. It is a gold medal match, and probably the first for some of the players, if not all of the players here playing on this level. Probably the first time they've ever played in front of a crowd. I think there's something to be said for representing your state. People or girls at least, lift the level of play and play out of their skins. So I wonder how New South Wales are going to come back from that, whether they're going to designate different poppers or maybe a different handling set just to move the disc out of the field. I think a lot of the teams here have had trouble with just generally once they move it up to that end zone line, it's almost like the danger end zone line. It's inevitable. It almost gets turned over because there are too many people wanting the disc. So hopefully they can clean up that in the end. And I wonder if WA again will come out with the zone. It
is presenting them with a defence that that makes that not a really good option. So it'll be interesting to see how New South Wales adjusts.
Oh, almost a run through D there on one of the first offensive passes. They've got their strong handlers back now, Christy and Holly. Christy's looking for a good dump option, but they're quite tightly covered here. Now we've got our first turnover. It's a great tight man defence, and they've decided to pick it up and throw perhaps prematurely, given none of their players were quite open at the time. The kudos to them for being quite keen in trying to get the disc in. There's a bit of confusion on the field. I think they don't really know if they're a vertical stack or horizontal stack. And now they've just decided to dump and reset in order to get the disc. We've got Charlotte looking for the disc, and we have a turnover. Perhaps pick up the disc a bit too quickly. So now New South Wales have to pick up the disc, but quite jammed on the sideline. So let's see if Christy can get it out, either to a dump handler. The WA do have quite a loose zone, as Potsy was saying, but they've managed to get it to a swing to a dump, but no continuation for the swing. Oh, Christy up the line, very good spatial awareness there. Again, it's just between Christy and Holly. Holly almost missed that swing shot, but unfortunate turnover there.
Yeah, that just went through her hands. It was definitely in the breadbasket. Now, Raya, when she gets a disc, she just looks in the end zone first to see if there's anything there, and then she shortens her gaze. Oh, threaded it through to Sage Lovell. And now it's back with Matilda Singara. She's kind of trapped on the sideline and needs to move it. Oh, that was a miscommunication. That's unfortunate. And they've got cutters for the huck, but they're not taking it. And they've got a bit of space and a bit of time while WA tries to sort out their defence. Oh. So they're moving well, New South Wales. They've got it into the attacking half. That big space in front of the disc, and can they use it? That's nice. Good little bit of popping into the space. It's really tell us who caught that goal. But yeah. And if you're out there watching on the internet, don't forget to get on Facebook or social media, share it, personalise it, tell us a bit about the game, tell us a bit about who you know in this game, but share it and get it out there, get more people watching the live stream, because this is shaping up to be a cracker of a game. 2-2 in the final. We're in beautiful Melbourne. We've got, right now, the current season in Melbourne, I'm going to say, is summer. So it's nice conditions, a light breeze across the field. We're in a playing field in the Docklands in Melbourne, and it's a brand new playing field. We have a stunning backdrop with the city, a few construction cranes to show how Victoria is moving ahead. And yeah, it's a stunning location here, beautiful fields, and some really exciting ultimate ahead of us, behind us and ahead of us. So here we go. New South Wales is about to pull. They stopped that WA momentum, and I'm sure we're going to see a zone at this point.
I definitely would not be surprised at all if New South Wales did come out with a zone just to stop that WA offence effectively working between Raya and Shannon. We'll see what they do with the pool here. It's a bit of a chatting point happening. Wonder what Anna Haynes. She's quite confident on the sideline, Anna Haynes is. Bit of a dance. Alrighty, so pulls down. Holly's first to the disc. And we have a do, and we have to run through D. I guess that is motivation for running down hard on the disc. Okay, so how does New South Wales set up their offense? It's a bit scattered across the end zone line. We do have that super duo handling set. Again, but they've crowded. WA have crowded the front of the zone, and there is an unfortunate turnover.
Yeah, it probably wasn't quite the throw that Christie was looking to give to her receiver. She was directing traffic in the end zone. She kind of got the cut she wanted to, but it was just not quite the finish that she wanted. Good positional play there by Christie to box out the offensive player, and there's a turnover at halfway. She gets the disc to Emma Hannigan near the sideline, inside their attacking half. Well, that's a no foul call on that, which is no strip call, which is, I've got to say, interesting. But WA has a disc. They're still in their own half, and really looking to get it to Zia Palmer and Shannon Carpenter. Zia looks to jack it deep, but it gets intercepted by New South Wales. And New South Wales has a disc just shy of their halfway line.
Again, New South Wales have gone for a vertical stack, but are a bit spread out. So let's see if they can create enough space to actually put the disc in. I think they are subject to a bit of crowding, as it seems. Again, we've got Holly and Christie back, and there's an intercept D. D from WA. That zone is working very, very well, I think, for WA. Neutralising, I guess, any of the longer options that New South Wales probably do and did rely on, particularly with their taller players. But having said that, both of these teams are quite tall and quite athletic. You know, the girls are running hard on defence, some fantastic grabs, great reflexes. So WA have it maybe 15 metres out of their end zone line, nicely creating space for Raya, and that's Shannon. Straight across crossfield, long, and didn't quite come off. But that's brilliant spatial awareness. I think even the Victorian team and most teams are very confident with that crossfield throw, whether it be a hammer, a flick, or a backhand.
Christie Gibbons bringing it back in on her end zone line. They've generated something. Took a bit to get something happening there, but now they're stopped again in the zone. So they need to get something in front of the thrower. That was a good bid from the defender, but not quite there. Now they've got to halfway. Bit of momentum. The zone needs to set itself again. It's Emma Hannigan with the disc. They're looking for something free. And she actually looked upfield before she had it in her hands. That was Michaela France. And I think it's Shannon Carpenter picking it up. She wants to send it down the field. And it's Jess Emery with the disc. Just gets it to Zia Palmer. There's space out there. Plenty of time. Nicely grabbed. Wow, right on the line. But called out by Simon Wood, I'm suspecting, who will not let that go past. They're now progressing. WA is taking a little bit of time to set themselves, but the unforced error really from New South Wales gives it back to WA about 10 metres into their defending end zone, defending half.
That's perhaps the best passage of play from New South Wales so far against the WA zone, picking up the disc before the zone could set. We do have a lovely turnover here. New South Wales picking up. Holly's walking away from disc just to reset the team. Looks like WA have gone to a very, very loose zone again. Almost looks like man, but in fact is a zone. Right on the end zone line. Christie's holding the disc, looking for a dump. Oh, and she does get it. Nice little blading hammer. She's calling back for it again. Very powerful position. Once he's thrown it, throw and go. She's looking cross field. She's looking for a dump to reset. They do know they're outside of the end zone line and are trying to sift it through this WA zone, but it seems to be covering most of their players. Not quite the traditional zone of popping and wings cutting up afterwards. They are beautifully dumping and swinging, hitting the back corner for a score. Fantastic.
Very patient, and that was the right thing to do there. I think it was looking a little bit messy in the end zone on those first few possessions. Christie really did want to be the one throwing the goal there. You could tell she got the disc. She's pointing, trying to direct traffic, trying to create the space that someone could cut into, but it just wasn't happening. So she patiently dumped it. They swung the disc. They saw the opening, and they took that opportunity to throw the goal. So it's 3-2 to New South Wales. Slightly have the upper hand, but WA threatened the end zone there. Shannon had the disc just outside the end zone. She wants to score when she gets the disc in that position. She looked to score. It was just a contested reception, so probably wasn't the best option in the end. And something I say possibly about some of these WA possessions is in the semi. In the semi, we saw WA willing to put it in the air deep a little bit more, and I think New South Wales has some tall defensive players that makes it a bit more difficult to send those big, long, floaty hucks deep. But we'll see. Certainly, Rhea and Shannon want to send it deep every time they get the disc, and we'll see if they get into a rhythm with that. Zia, I think, is their other kind of big hucker. She'll look to be conservative early, but is then quite happy to send it deep if there's nothing presenting itself short.
That's been the great thing about these two teams, that there are so many, I guess, threatening handlers on each team. It's great to see that their development and the level of skill of the girls at this tournament is fantastic. I highly encourage people out there who want to encourage youth in the area just to show them this game, because it's an amazing testament to youth development by all states, and the number of girls just playing is fantastic. We've got a break through the cup, break through the New South Wales Cup. Let's see if we can keep the momentum here. We've got Sage going long. Oh, and we got a hand block. Hand block from number 17 from New South Wales, from Jess. Fantastic. She busts long. Tries and capitalises, but New South Wales are playing it safe, dumping and swinging to Holly. Holly's caught on the sideline again. Goes for the long huck to Jess. Doesn't quite connect. Perhaps some miscommunication about who that was actually intended for. New South Wales are running down to set their zone again. Holly's running into the middle. Quickly set up their zone to stifle any WA movement. Again, forcing another turnover. WA have again set up their loose zone. New South Wales quick to pick up the disc. Another dump and swing. We've got Holly cross field into the space. That was a brilliant throw into space. Definitely cutting through the zone. Oh, Jess could have popped that through to create more flow and open up the field a little bit more. Again, through the middle of the zone. Very good. Good spatial awareness. Dumping and swinging and attacking ever so often. Now we've got a Holly on the sideline. Goes for that space to Jess again in the corner. Attack the disc. Brilliant. Just sat long enough and dropped just in time before the WA defender came across.
Yeah, Rhea Carbon just maybe a step off being able to get a decent play on that disc, but Jess Lynn held the ground and pulled that disc in. So another player to watch on WA is number 19, Nikki Ma, who is massive on the mark, and she will be crucial to WA kind of stifling the New South Wales offense. I think she got 4 hand blocks in the semi-final, so she can definitely dominate the defensive side of this game. One thing I think we haven't seen yet, or haven't seen much of, which we saw a lot in the semi-final was the two Carpenter twins, Raya and Shannon, playing side by side on the field. When they were both out there, it was very difficult for ACT to shut down both of those players. So they're both very willing to attack when they get the disc, especially that first 1 or 2 seconds when they don't have a mark on. They're definitely looking to get the disc deep on the field and take advantage. So New South Wales in that point, I think, did manage to penetrate the zone a little bit better than they have up till now. Partly maybe because it was transitional and WA wasn't quite set, but I think it's kind of the key to beating this zone from WA is just movement down the middle of the field. Sometimes just taking kind of shortish passes down the middle just to break things up a little bit.
So New South Wales, Christie again with the pull. Anna Haynes having a long chat between points here. I wonder if they will change up their offense, whether it will again centre around Shannon on the field, and Zia perhaps looking for a long hug and zone play, which has worked for them in the past in terms of they do get a turn off their zone. It's whether they can put it in. New South Wales have scored 2 in a row. This could be the momentum, and I wonder if there will be a change up in the strategy here to get a score to put WA back in contention for the gold medal today. So we have Christie, pull cross field, top right corner of the field. First pass cut off. Holly cut off the first pass from Shannon. The New South Wales zone has been able to set, but there has been a space. Short deep, left a player spare in the middle. Up the wing, and we have 2 players on that. Great spatial awareness again by New South Wales, capitalising on the flow there. All right, so we have Christie picking up the disc right on the sideline, though. Wonder where she'll aim for. WA are forcing a backhand force, interestingly, so away from the sideline, giving them that easy dump out. Floaty huck, but their numbers do pull it down. They had 3 players to 2 there against WA. Looking for the dump to Holly, looking for a quick reset, but unfortunately not fast enough in a D from the WA zone.
That was a nice grab and a nice read from Emma Watson, but she didn't look as confident with the disc and couldn't manage to find the nice easy pass to keep possession. So WA is now moving it to halfway, and it's at halfway. Shannon wants to send it now. She just wants to get the disc with a bit of flow and then send it, really. And here it is. But there's no cutters, and it unfortunately just doesn't quite get onto that. So New South Wales has it 10 metres into the attacking end zone. Good possession. WA still setting the zone, but it's set now with space out on the weak side. And it's Christie's got the disc. Nice little high forehand over the top, and she's running for it. Not quite in the end zone. Tries to jump in, but doesn't quite get there. And she's looking for a nice clean cut. She's shown she can be patient. And she uses the high forehand again effectively. Very nice. I'm not sure who's been teaching her that, but that was a nice little high forehand to get past the mark. So, what's WA going to do here? That's 4 points in a row, I think, to New South Wales. So that you've got to start to be a little bit worried if you're the WA coach, if you're Anna Haynes, and think about, that point probably for the first time, I'd say, WA didn't get a chance to really attack the end zone. So they need to be at least generating those opportunities close to the end zone so they can try and score the goals. You don't want to play the game in your own half the whole time. You want to be getting in the other half and putting some pressure on the end zone.
With the New South Wales zone offense, they're quite handler reliant in terms of Holly and Christie working it up that sideline, jamming it up the sideline given, but eventually scoring to Emma in that point. I wonder if WA will decide to maybe force return or at least force away from the dominant handlers, being Christie and Holly. Another long break between points. I wonder if and it will change the offensive structure in terms of who they pick as their long receiver. Or they will go for the huck and zone again. But it might be worth changing it because they are 2 points from half time. So half here is score at 7. Got the...
Yeah. Look, there were a couple of opportunities in that last point for WA where they had the disc out with, say, Shannon, but didn't go deep, looked short instead, and maybe in those times they should have just, and I know it was, New South Wales was ready deep, but maybe they just needed to have a punt into the end zone, get the disc out of their half, and maybe we'll see a slightly more aggressive approach in this point. So WA's got the disc and playing it from the sideline. It's 10 metres out of the end zone. Ray has got the disc, doesn't look deep. They're moving it to the upwind sideline, and Zia's sending it. Nicely blocked by Tegan Holmes. She is very tall, and it's going to be hard to receive the disc over her. But now we have Nikki Ma, massive presence on the mark, but doesn't manage to stop that upfield pass. It's now with Michaela France. She gets it back to Holly Reeve, who again has Nikki Ma on it. And they've progressed it. Ooh, just lands in, I think, there. And it's back to Holly. Holly really trying to dominate proceedings here. A nice catch under pressure in the end zone. That's not good for WA. They really needed to score that point. So you can see Anna Haynes, the WA coach, kind of shaking her head around about that. There were a couple of tight instances in that possession, that series of possessions where WA could have got the disc, but New South Wales worked it well up the field, really revolving around Holly Reeve, but looked confident the whole way up the field and jammed it into the end zone on the far sideline. Yeah. So, staring at half time now, WA. I don't think they've called a timeout. They're just taking their time. Again, they did try to huck it into the end zone, but into the attacking half, but it didn't have height on it. I think Zia in particular throws a flattish huck, and when you got a tall girl like Tegan Holmes between you and your half, you really need to get a bit of height onto it and get it deep into the opposition half. So, yeah, they really need Raya or Shannon to get the disc out there. And look, the other interesting thing is they're still not playing the twins on the same line together, which I would be doing that. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, WA might as well try to change it up, try and get a score in this sense. It is just a pity that Sage, the huck didn't get up high enough to get to Sage, who was actually on the break side and quite free in that point. Maybe a hammer or a flick blade could have done the job. But now I've got New South Wales running down hard. Holly again first to the disc. We've got Jess backing her up. Another zone a bit tighter than WA's zone. The standard cup play, but we've got quite an active open point there, crashing in on the disc and quite effectively. So this time, New South Wales have decided to slowly pick up the disc, given they are on the end zone. They've got quite a tight stack in the back, but WA have put on their very loose zone, clogging up the space they're available. But New South Wales seem to be weaving it quite capably through, particularly dumping it back to Christie to confuse the WA players there in terms of who they're playing. Possibly another opportunity for Holly to get it up the line, but unfortunately a swing did not come off, and Jess unfortunately did not seal the catch there. But this gives an opportunity for New South Wales to set up their zone again. We've got Jess on the mark. Holly again in that open popping position, being really effective and crashing in on that disc, but fine to let it go on the sideline. Got lovely swing, but unfortunately to space and to no one. Perhaps a miscommunication there with Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon needed to put that on the first possession. they're not. Working the disc is not working for them right now. Oh, there we go. So Christy tries her high forehand and is given the reply, "Not in my house." Very nice. Toes keeps her feet right inside the line. That was Sage Lovell. It's now with Jamie Castleton. Shannon has it. She wants end zone. Just being a bit picky about getting a clean target, maybe. That's floaty, but it could go to WA, and now they're well within attacking range, and Shannon wants the disc. Sarah Monty with the disc. She does get it to Shannon. They don't have any flow right now. Nicely caught. Nice throw from Shannon. Again, they're very close to the end zone, but there's no movement in the end zone. Have an attempt. It's just slightly over Sage Lovell's head, but they they've got the disc in the end zone. They've got New South Wales on their end zone line. They're going to set the zone, I assume. They've got a good chance to put pressure on, and New South Wales is looking a little bit tired right now, and they're going to huck it. They've hucked it. It's floating. It's going out. Yeah. So, telling, very important for for WA to score this point.
We just hope that this last point, well, maybe the last point, but for half doesn't turn into a huck and zone kind of deal. We've got a chance here for a score, and oh, wow. Hopefully the offense get to keep that, as is the rule. They caught it at the same time. Otherwise, New South Wales set up their zone, a little bit of confusion, but WA capitalised to get it out to the side. They are jammed on the sideline here again. Hopefully Shannon can get it out. Oh, brilliant space. Great catch again. Off to the side. Oh, brilliant space on the wing. That was a brilliant cut. That great flow and timing. Now again, trapped on the sideline, but through the cup. Brilliant grab on the ground. Lots of girls hitting the ground this weekend. It's great to see them bidding for discs. Aggressive catching. Now a bit of confusion on the end zone line. This is, I guess, unfortunately, perhaps too much pressure on from Holly breathing down her back.
Oh, and it's the reply from New South Wales is to put it big and deep. The receiver was a bit too far in front of the receiver. Receiver there was Kayla Wilson. So, but they have field position, and that's what Coach Simon Wood wants. And now WA has delivered on that, and New South Wales back into striking distance, then the pressure of being in their own half is alleviated. Nice grab. Beautiful grab there by Mackenzie Smeaton. Close to the ground, diving grab. Nice break. Oh, but just out of reach. So, WA takes possession on the cone, just outside the end zone perhaps. And there'll be a lot of pressure here. They're going to be facing a zone. It's very important in this situation. You've got a strong thrower. It's floaty. Wasn't a good chance of that one coming off. And they've given it. Wow. That was a receiver error there. It was really in her hands and a goal and half time, but it's not anymore. It's WA disc just on the line and just in. And New South Wales gets the disc back again. They're attacking the end zone. It's with Christy. Christy's going to take control here, I think. And she's taking every second pass. And they've found a hole, and they've thrown the goal. It's number 11, Kayla Wilson, catching that with Holly Reeve throwing it. So that's half time, I believe. Yeah, it's I have to say, absolutely disappointing finish to that half for WA. They had the disc again outside the end zone. It was tough. Like, they were kind of static outside the end zone. It is hard to throw it into the end zone, but possibly they needed to have a shot in there. I think they need their dominant, the Carpenter twins, to be the ones taking those shots into the end zone, and just trying to hit the receivers in there. And like, it's partly what New South Wales is doing. Like, they are quite patient, but they'll have a shot, and some of them are coming off and some of them aren't. But when you're in a tough, when you've got tough defense, someone has just got to take the initiative and try to throw the goal, because you're never going to score a goal if you don't have a crack at it. So, yeah. Might just take a little bit of a break at half time, and we'll be back pretty soon, I think.
Yes, please. I thought I was going to. I'm not trying. But she just needs to trade more straight up, and she'll just kill it. Right. She's on Frisbee. She shaded and let her play forehand so she can throw a penetrating throw in. She just played straight up. And they've got to get the twist out. That's killing them. They did that last game. I said it on. They're both on Darren. He asked me about awarding nationals and started to tell me, AFDA needs to meet its timeline. Maybe you can put your fucking video on time. But the deadline for the timeline that we said was awarded at the Thursday National. At that point, we had an email from them just saying, we don't have time. Like, so you wanted us to award you for next year. So good. Great weekend. but they did it in the same injury. Like they just jacked it. And then when they
I think there's like they changed one.
It should be 23. It was never under 23. It's always under 24.
But you see what you said, right? They just cut no one.
It doesn't really matter either.
Like they don't care, but whereas
And you watch it. Now they get Shame, I hate to. Yeah. If you can't win.
it's not particularly particularly up to them.
So, Jonathan Potts here, back on the commentary, and Mandy Fung is going to join me again soon, I think, for this second half of the girls' final at the Australian Youth Ultimate Championships. The teams are lining up. We're almost ready to go. So that was a fairly dramatic first half with New South Wales coming out of the blocks and getting the first point. Then WA showing what they're capable of, and really, I felt, kind of dominating the next 2 points to get up 2-1. But then New South Wales regathered and has taken 6 in a row. So there's a real question of whether WA can find their mojo again. And for me, my Frisbee thing is get your best players out there, and they're still not quite doing it. They need both the twins out there at the same time if they can. So yeah, we'll see. They got their game plan. Let's see how they go.
We've got, as Potsy was saying, we do need the twins out there, particularly for the handler movement and the connection. Like you see, New South Wales really relying on the Holly Christie connection. Great vision, great throw from Holly. Yeah, relying on the Christie and Holly connection. Whereas Nikki Ma with the block there. We've got Raya picking up the disc. Now, whether or not WA can facilitate that same handler connection and get it out of this sticky, static start and into a flowing ultimate, really, I think once WA do get it out of the blocks here. Off the sideline, hopefully, is swing to the middle. Got a swing to number 1. I think it's Matilda. The blue visor. Oh, great backup catch. Here we go. Here's the flow. Hopefully, they can keep the momentum up. Someone going deep. Alassa looking back for Raya here. Hopefully, keep it flowing. There is a player free in the middle here. But okay, dump safe back. But the New South Wales zone has unfortunately set on them again, and whether or not they can get out. Oh, lovely swing into space from Matilda. Lovely swing into the middle. Brilliant. Let's see if we can get it out of here. Now, unfortunately, WA have been stopped in their tracks here by the New South Wales zone. Going for the long swing. Unfortunately, Christie accelerated towards that disc and did get the D for New South Wales.
Yeah, I mean, that was 3-on-1, but as I keep harping on, you've got to be in it to win it, and there's no point in just swinging it around 20, 30 metres out of the end zone forever. You've got to try and find an opportunity to penetrate, which they did, just wasn't quite the option. And now New South Wales is getting a bit of flow here. They've got it to Tegan Holmes, who is extremely tall. It's floaty, and blocked by Shannon outside the end zone. She's got Zia. Zia needs to score the goal. But anyway. Whoa, nice. Nikki Ma just gets the shoulder in front and takes the cut into the centre of the end zone. An easy pass from Shannon, from Raya, and that's a goal for WA. A much needed goal. They're down 3-7. They need momentum. They need to play the game in the other half, and they need to be attacking the end zone. They're getting the blocks. They're getting the possessions from New South Wales. So they need to be doing that in the other half. They can quickly, on transition, try to penetrate and get a goal, because it's very difficult to score against the zone through patience. Unless you've got a really sophisticated popping happening that can just work the disc, or you've got super strong handlers that can break at will, it's very difficult. And I think WA doesn't quite have the handler base. You need 3 strong handlers if you're going to just maintain possession against the zone without any pressure, and I feel like WA doesn't quite have that handler base.
They are becoming more aggressive in their zone offense, which is how New South Wales have been breaking through the WA zone. Some very creative throwing from Holly and Chrisley. Again, the solid handler set needed to penetrate the WA zone. That was a great first point from WA, breaking New South Wales to score. Hopefully they're reinvigorated after that halftime break. We do have New South Wales starting on offense again. Most likely we'll have Holly handling back there. Wonder if WA will again try their zone. We've got a pool coming up. Girls running down. First pass is open to Holly, centre of the field. They've gone to man. Very good. They've gone to man, which did work quite effectively just before half. Though there are players loose. Definitely caught on the wrong side of them. But definitely holding the New South Wales plays a bit more, though shutting down Holly is going to be a task for any kind of player. Holly is looking deep though. They're looking for a dump. Oh, so close. Couldn't quite stop the dump. And now they've gotten a break into the middle of the field. Plays a bit out of position, but the mark is quickly set. But again, maybe perhaps too much activity around this. But Holly again tearing up the field every second pass. And she pretty much is running the New South Wales offense. So that's going to be a task for WA when they do play man. Marking up on Holly effectively to shut her down, whether or not that involves a poach up the lane.
And that was Mackenzie Smeaton with the goal there. Nice solid cut into the short side, and takes the easy pass for the goal. And that was very nice flow from New South Wales. There's some pressure at times from the markers, but generally speaking, they're able to get free. I'm not sure that. It's worthwhile trying a man, but they've been getting lots of blocks with the zone. I don't think there's anything wrong with their defense. They just need to be playing offense, or they need to be playing the game in the opposition half, I feel. So, 8-3 to New South Wales. 8-3 to New South Wales. Looking... They'd have growing confidence now as the game gets closer to the end. WA really needs to turn this around a lot. Ooh. And there's time cap. So, so we're going to play this point out and then add 1 to the highest score and time cap. That makes it a bit tougher for WA. They've got less breathing space now.
As Potsy has predicted and advocated for, we've got both Shannon and Rhea, I believe, on the field. Maybe this is the change-up that WA has needed in order to facilitate that offensive flow. I think we've got the pull coming down. We've got Christy pulling the disc. Yes, we will have Rhea and Shannon back, which might help the flow. But again, the New South Wales zone has set before WA can get the first pass off, which is often crucial to centering the disc and creating some flow in order to create holes in the zone. Now, the WA players, they are in the right spots, but perhaps crowding the disc a bit too much and not providing that second or third cut flow to actually progress the disc up the field. We've got perhaps too many people cutting in at the same time. For example, when unfortunately too close, and there is a turnover there. New South Wales going for the huck, and it's gone up to Jess on Shannon. Great D from Shannon. Great bid by both players, and obviously a handshake at the end, commending each other for the disc.
Right, that were 2 big blocks from both teams in a row there, and with a bit of contact, and then the girls just shrugged that contact off. It's good to see. Okay, Shannon has it. They're looking at the zone. Just throws it over the top nicely pulled in. That was beautifully pulled in by Charlotte Jones. And gets it back to Shannon. She's in striking distance of something. Not sure what. They've been given the backhand and she uses it. The question is whether... Not quite, but Sage Lovell is not a bad target for that. And now they have defense in the opposition half. But again, not showing the zone. So we'll see how New South Wales works it this time. They work it nicely. They've drilled that. Had 2 cutters going deep, but the throw just didn't quite have the touch on it. But again, they've gotten it into WA's half, so WA's got a bit of a task ahead of them again. It's gone to Raya. Being forced sideline. Gets it over the top, but they've got to catch that. And it's intercepted by New South Wales. It's now been centred, and it's with Shay Strawn. That pass doesn't quite come off. So WA has a chance again. They want to get it moving before the zone sets. Slightly over-ambitious, but many of us have been blamed for or have been guilty of that offence of just getting a little bit overexcited and not quite executing when you know you got to try and do something. So, New South Wales in a power position. That did not go where it was meant to go. But New South Wales has got it, and Jess Lynn has the disc about 10 metres into the attacking end zone. Gets it off to Shay Strawn. Knocked out of there. Some discussion.
We do have a call. Jess does think that she had possession prior to the D. It seems like it's most likely it'll get sent back. Or not. Yes, it will be sent back to the last completed throw. Let's see if New South Wales can clean up their offense and shoot for one deep. I wonder if they'll call an ISO play here. But no, they're safe dumping back. They're great handle set, great reset movement. New South Wales been trained and drilled very well by Simon Wood, Sarah Perkins and Maddie O'Connor. Perhaps a stall out. First stall out of the game. Great defense by WA. Man on man has worked effectively quite near the end zone. I guess there's no threat of that long shot any longer. New South Wales have been able to set up their zone though. It's a 4-man, but that does mean that there is no short deep in this zone, which leaves the over the top pop quite open and available to WA. Holly was very close there for a D, but through the cup, the middle player got dragged in a little bit too much. But again, you've got two quite tall WA players just hanging in the middle of the field there with all the space. But miscommunication and intercept from New South Wales straight to Holly, but there's no long cut, no long option for her. I think Simon Wood is directing the girls just to work it up the field. Like Jess hasn't quite moved up the field yet either. This player's quite nervous. She wants to dump the disc, but Holly is being very well marked. But lovely Jess is there for the dump. Holly and Christy are not taking action, and she goes for the huck. Unfortunately, didn't quite get over the defending player. Didn't quite get over Nikki, who has proven herself to be a fantastic defensive player. Great spatial awareness, a great attack and aggression on the disc, and she's hanging in the space. She is in the right spot. Perhaps moved in a bit too quickly because she could have gotten the continuation pass. But a great grab from number 3 from Charlotte, who has taken some fantastic grabs this game. Charlotte again with the disc. Nikki is in the middle of field wanting the disc over the top. Unfortunately being marked and perhaps too close to the cup now. We do have Laura out on the wing. Laura and Sage out of the wing. Stretching the New South Wales deep and wing here. But alas, perhaps not enough space to get it to Nikki in the middle, who is, hopefully they see the space. Oh, back up grab from Nikki Ma. That was brilliant. Brilliant grab, but there's no continuation pass again. And not quite an easy dump, and unfortunately a missed throw there. So Holly's picking up the disc. She's looking for a huck. There is a huck option, but alas, perhaps too many players around the disc, and in fact goes for a medium throw and turns over.
Yeah, a lot of patience there from WA, and they work the disc down well into the opposition half. They just didn't have options in the end zone. And nicely caught again by Charlotte Jones, who's dominating that position behind the cup and taking some really great grabs. But you can't get away with too many of those in a point. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And a huck in reply straight away on transition, which is just out of reach. That looked like it was sitting, and she was going to get there. And she's looking either upset with herself or exhausted, not keen to get up, but she's up. But they've got field position, they've got their cup in position, and WA's got a lot of work ahead of them. And the over the top is not going to work forever, and it doesn't on that occasion. And a nice throw to a leading cutter in the end zone. So, game point. It's a game to 10. 9-3 to New South Wales. And the time cap has fallen. It's a game to 10. New South Wales just needs to score one more point. It's nigh on impossible, I think, for WA now, unless they just absolutely ruthlessly play the game in the other half and cross their fingers that New South Wales doesn't manage to string together enough passes down the field to score a point. Because when they get possession close to the end zone, they are well drilled, and we saw there in the transition before the WA defense gets set, it's pretty hard to shut down. So yeah, you need to give your defense a chance to shut down the offense. So time will be told. So Nikki Ma's come off to this point. She worked really hard that last point. Shannon has come off. Shannon Carpenter's come off as well. Like that was a long point. You can see why they're taking a break. We've got Raya Carpenter out there, and I'm imagining that Zia Palmer, she's out there as well. So they've got strength out there. They definitely don't have their strongest team, but they can't win 7 points in a row with only their strongest players on. They're going to win this. They're going to have to conserve some legs as well. But you've got to, at this point in the game, you still got to have belief, and it's happened. Teams have won from this position, so sign of a good team is never giving up, and you never know what's going to happen. And in Melbourne, you never know when it's going to suddenly be a hailstorm or something, as I've experienced.
New South Wales smart to put on their zone again. It has been working effectively. It's just a pity that the Raya Shannon Carpenter to Sage move hasn't come off for WA at all during this game. Oh, they have gone for the huck. Unfortunately, didn't drag the wings and the deep out far enough to create that space to hit a free player. WA have gone to a man, perhaps more effective in putting more pressure, but there is one loose player, unfortunately, and gets it across the field. And brilliant D, perhaps a missed throw as well, brilliant D. New South Wales have set up their zone again, looking for Raya on the sideline. And great shot to the corner, but we might have... Oh, yes. Interesting, but it is a turnover.
As we've seen, some significant amounts of contact with no foul called there. I think the receiver probably was within their rights to kind of object a little bit, but maybe I'm soft. I've come from the men's game. So that didn't quite work, and that's where the field position is so crucial. You should be disappointed with that, but again, they're playing it from their end zone line, and it's being chased down. It's a good contest. Just manages to get position. That was Matilda Singara had position and got a little bit onto the Frisbee, which was enough to make sure that was a turnover. Nice one-handed grab by Raya. And she breaks through the cup to Matilda. And it's back to Raya. She's looking end zone briefly, but then it's quite open in that short. who's out there working it quite well is Dana Polverino. And Dana takes the goal. Yes. They're excited, WA. It's been a long time coming now. Since that early dominance, that's only their second point since they were up 2-1. Now, a little bit, that's what they needed, obviously, because if they didn't get that point, they weren't going to stay in the game, but also they need the confidence. They just need to be playing with confidence. And look, not everyone will agree, but Coach Simon Wood on the other team is quite adamant about playing the game in the opposition half, and that point WA managed to play almost the entire point in the New South Wales half. There were some throws in the end zone that were never going to come off, but it also gave them plenty of space to get a block, and they got blocks, and eventually they could find a clean shot at the goal. So it'll be interesting to see how those key players respond in this next point. And look, I'm interested in, I'd be going back to zone because I saw the stationary start from New South Wales in a couple of those points. They're well drilled, they run up the line into a power position, and then they can huck it and do what they want to do, get the disc down the other field. If you show them a zone, they're going to just be static, flat-footed. Nicky Marr can get in there and get a block. Yeah, anything could happen. So, I'm kind of hopeful they throw their zone out there again now.
And definitely, we again have the New South Wales handling set. Kirsty and Holly both on the line. They're probably hoping to put this final one in this point. But it has, as Potsy said, it has not been unheard of for a team to come back from 5 or 6 points down to win on Universe. That would be a very exciting game for the Australian Youth Ultimate Championships women's final. Holly catches the pull, immediately centres the disc. A great move, even before the WA... they've got a man defence on at the moment, but a free player in the middle, perhaps a bit of confusion marking up on the field. Again, another free player, Holly. Holly is just tearing this field up. She wants it long. She wants to put it long. A great move putting it long. One-on-one matchup. And, that could have been the game, but perhaps too much defensive pressure. New South Wales do have it tough. They are trying to score into the sun. The sun is quite brilliant at the moment. The Balti Bridge isn't quite covering the sun yet. Sage, brilliant grab. Hopefully we'll see this Sage and Carpenter twin connection. They do play on Southern Terra together as a team. But great man defense coming from, unfortunately very rough play. But the girls seem to be fine. Both vying for the disc.
Again, we're yet to see a foul called on some significant contact on the reception. So, and they've turned it over, New South Wales. So Shannon has a disc. Nicky Marr's taking a bit of a break on the weak side of the field, but she's injecting herself now. And so we've got Jess Emery with a disc who dumps it back to Jamie Castleton. Both Jess and Jamie have been pretty key players. And Charlotte Jones has a disc on the far sideline. Nothing really upfield. Jamie makes a cut, gets the disc. It's time now for Shannon to inject, but maybe not. Wow. That is right on the line. A beautiful catch. Got her foot back in bounds. Caught the disc, stayed in bounds. There's a bit of talk about it. Coach Simon Wood, I'm sure, has an opinion. We'll see if he's if he's offering that opinion. But the athletes will sort it out and give him the goal. Very nice to see. So 5-9.
Now, I do hope New South Wales hasn't been too complacent given their lead and given the fact that time cap has gone. WA have just scored 2 points in a row following time cap going. if WA can keep this momentum going, who knows what can happen. You know, you could actually visibly see WA attacking this a lot more. There were lots of loose players on the WA side. Seems like New South Wales hadn't quite marked up yet on the players, or were just quite complacent, I think, given that they do have now their former 6 goal lead has now been reduced to 4.
Yeah, look at, WA gets the next point. It's 3 points. New South Wales starts to question themselves a little bit, start to get a little bit desperate and just play not how they want to play, or maybe they start to feel like they should stop hucking and it's not working, and get a bit tentative. So this will be a telling point, no doubt. Really, WA wants to get a nice pull in here, get good position off the pull. I'm going to say that they're going to come down man. It looks like they've given up on their zone, but their man-on-man is allowing the easy in-cuts. So they've got to be careful. They've either got to play harder on the in-cuts, or, if they don't do that, they're not going to be able to shut them down. So New South Wales, it was a good pull. They are fairly deep in their half, with Christie with the disc, one of their key, if not their key handler. She uses that high forehand again, which has been very successful apart from when it got blocked once. Oh! That really should have been intercepted by Zia Palmer. And back to Christie. She is calm as on the disc. And she's giving the point, and it works. That's sharp, and it's turned over. That was Holly Reeve trying to do a little bit too much, but that's how they've scored a lot of points, with the swing and the penetration up the sideline. So, you got to play the game the way that you play the game. And Matilda has a disc and swings it out to Jamie Castleton. And there's the...
Again, Tegan with the D. It's been quite difficult for WA to throw it to anyone with Tegan on marking them, purely because of the height. Even if the girls jump, they wouldn't be able to get there. But there's a massive put to Christie for the score. The traditional handling set of Holly to Christie. What a telling way and what a fitting way to finish the New South Wales game. They have carried the team, aided by members of the team, but definitely the star players from this game from New South Wales has been Holly and Christie.
Yes. So we'll wrap it up now, but I found that very enjoyable. It was a bit of a shame, I guess, for we spectators at home and the unbiased spectators, I guess, the neutral spectators, that there was that 7-point run in the middle of the game that New South Wales just couldn't. New South Wales went on that WA just couldn't stop. But before and after that, it was a very tightly matched game. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks Mandy very much for helping me commentate that game.
Glad to be here, Potsy.
And we're going to shut the stream down now because the boys are on in about 10 minutes. So hang out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share, and we'll catch you in the next game. Thanks. And the game is New South Wales Victoria.